Hi, my name is Katie, and today I'm going to be talking about stabling your horse versus having them out in a field. When I moved, I had a board Manny at a stable. That was an experience that I will never forget. The things I didn't like about boarding him were it was very, very expensive. It was $350 a month for a 10 by 12, I think it was like a 10 by 12 stall or 10 by 10, something like that. It was a very small stall. He didn't have any turnout. The arena that I would be able to work in was always muddy because it was obviously January. We didn't have an indoor arena, and there was a lot of restrictions on the property. So we didn't have any wiggle room to do anything. So Manny was in a stall for about, I did have my round pen. The round pen is small. It's for working him, and it's not for actually like him being turned out in. Things I did notice about having him in a stall all the time: he was very hot every time I'd take him out. He obviously had a lot of energy because he wasn't able to move around, wasn't able to work himself like a horse should. Every time I'd ride him, he'd obviously be very hot because going back to being in the stall all the time, he had lots and lots of energy. He was very disrespectful. It all added up to him having lots of energy and not being able to use all of his energy in turnout or in a field, him being in a field all the time. It did alter his attitude and how he reacted to things. He would not gain weight. I think that had a lot to do with him being a little bit depressed. Before that, I would only put him in a stall if there was a storm or anything like that. He was on a very good diet, but he wouldn't gain weight. And I believe that is also because of him being in a stall all the time. My thoughts on stalling your horse all the time: it's really not good for them. Horses are herds animals. They like to be with other horses. They like to run around with them. They are grazing animals, so they have to have their heads down all the time. They have to be eating. If they're not eating all the time, they develop ulcers. It contributes to a lot of health issues like colic. Stress not only causes colic, but it also causes ulcers. Fortunately, Manny never had any health problems like that. I do understand that there are stables that offer turnout and really big fields, and that's fine. And if they turn him out in the morning, bring him in at night, that gives the horse time to be a horse and has some time to run around and kick and buck and be a horse. But the stabling all the time, 90% of the time your horse being in a stall, is not good. There are lots and lots and lots of benefits to pasturing your horse. When your horse is in a field all the time, they're in their natural habitat, or a simulation of their natural habitat. They're able to walk around, they're able to graze, they're able to move, they're being with a herd. So that will eliminate a lot of your attitude problems with your horses because they use their energy to move around. They're eating all the time, so they don't have the, like I said, ulcer problems. We can say their morale will change. They are happier. It gives them time to be a horse. It clears their mind. It just makes them more stable than they would be if they were in a stall all the time. Because if you were locked up, if you were in prison, you would have attitude issues. You wouldn't be happy that you were locked up all the time, and you'd have a lot of energy. And it's also good because they will have their head down for most of the day, which also in turn builds top line. Now some cons about pasturing your horses versus stabling them. You don't have a lot of control over cuts and scrapes that your horse may get. If the pasture your horse is in has a lot of uneven ground or, say, gopher holes, that would be a problem, especially if your horse has a lot of energy. Putting them out in a pasture, they might run around, they could pull something. Other horses will beat up other horses, so you have to be very careful of what horse you have with your horses. If they don't know each other, you don't want to just stick them out in a field and have them run around, like chase after each other, aggressively asserting dominance. So that is another con to pasturing your horse over. Instead of stalling them all the time, you have to be very careful about what group of horses your horse is with. Weather, obviously. If you don't have access to a barn, that's kind of concerning, especially in thunderstorms. Lightning is killer. I know this from experience. But horses are smart and they're going to go with their instincts. Those are the only cons that I really see, is you don't have a lot of control over what your horse does. So if you're going to a show and your horse is all cut up, it might not be the best idea to keep him out in the pasture for however long. Pasturing your horse is probably the best thing that you can do for them because it makes them happy. It gives them time to be a horse. Stabling them, if you have no other choice than to stable them, well then I would say go ahead and do that, but you need to be very careful about who you stable with, and you need to know if your horse is getting the right treatment, if your horse is getting everything that they say they're giving you. So you might want to spend a lot of time out at the barn. When they say they're turning your horse out, they will be turning your horse out. You just have to really, really watch and make sure that those type of things are happening, that they are treating your horse, especially if you're paying a lot of money. Say if you're paying $650 for full care a month. You need to make sure that your horses, because you are paying the person to take care of your horse. So that's another thing you need to be very careful about, is where you board and how they are treating your horse. Because if you're paying them money, they need to be doing what they say they're doing. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not bashing anybody who stalls their horse all the time. If you don't have any other resources available to you, I understand a lot of people in California don't have the luxury of large patches of land like we do here in the South. But if you do have the option to pasture your horse, I would go ahead and pasture them. And it's completely up to you. This is just my thought and my idea from experience. This is me speaking from experience to you guys. My experience with boarding my horse versus having my horse out on a pasture. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I will be making more videos like this in the near future. If you would, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It's down below. It really does help. The more I grow, the more you guys grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Just wanted to let you guys know that not only do I do informational videos, but I also do my vlog videos, and those are called My Moment in History, and they're a lot of fun. So if you guys would just go check those out, those will be linked in the description below. I also do edit videos, so you can just go on my channel and just check that out, so see what you like. And you guys can go ahead and comment below what you guys think about the controversy of stalling your horse versus pasturing your horse. So just let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.